$400 million. Like, yo, what's the word? It's Tea Time TV, and we are dropping in today with another video about the boy. I know it seemed like we've been doing a lot of videos right now surrounding around Drake, and I know like he went off the surface for a minute when the whole Kendrick beef thing went on. Then it's just kind of like, he had the episode with the shooting at his house and everything. Then he kind of just went off the radar for a little bit, you know what I mean? He popped back up doing his little Instagram posting and all that stuff. And then now he's popping back in because he dropped all his music and dropping all these videos, unreleased this, unreleased that. Like, it seems like a cry for help. Like, he's really just trying to figure out, how can I get back in the limelight? How can I get back in the spotlight? If you're a person, a human being, you know what I mean, and you get all this power, you get all this fame, and all of a sudden this power and this fame started to get took away, you're like, okay, I got to figure out how to get it back, because now it's become my superpower, and I feel like my superpower is diminishing. We've not only seen this with Drake, we've seen this happen with like Kanye, with the money being pulled and all that type of stuff. We've seen it happen with people in the past, so many people, you know what I mean? And I feel like Drake is kind of spiraling in that situation right now where it's like, hey, look, I'll go to extreme measures at this point, but I just need to get back in the face of the people. I need to get back into the limelight. So today we actually sitting in with at Urban Legend Will Evans. Shout out at Urban Legend Will Evans, where he came through with a video where it talks about how Universal Music Group, how Drake is forced to pay them for that leaked music that he did. If you know anything, there's videos out there where people speak about the $400 million contract that Drake got for, like all these albums and everything. So that's kind of like what put him like way ahead of so many people. But now it kind of seems that there are some stipulations within that contract that may be, putting them in a little bit of a situation. So we may be in a moment where we're about to see, Drake spiral a little bit more, but I don't know, this was sent over to me by, my brother or whatever. He wanted me to check this out and react to it. So it's my first time kind of checking it out too. So let's kind of see what Will Evans is talking about, along with all the content that he put together to present this video. So let's see.
Urban Legend Will Evans, you know what it is, bro? Let's talk about it. Now, Drake is in hot water with UMG, and he had a little bit of an issue with them because they decided to flag his music after he tried to put out some content. He put out 100 gigs of content, which included some music. And he put this out without UMG's consent, I guess. And apparently...
So for starters right there, knowing that you're in this $400 million deal, knowing that you don't even pretty much have the rights to yourself, you got to get consent for this. So that's another thing about him and that power and wanting to be in the spotlight. I feel like it could be a move where it's just like, I do what I want, so I'm dropping all this right now because I do what I want, but now the backlash is coming.
UMG is not happy about it. They flagged it. They told him to take it down or find a way for them to monetize off of it, or he couldn't have it up. And it seems like it's all on streaming platforms. All the music that he put out is on streaming platforms, and all the content that he put out has been flagged and taken down against his will, actually. He's the one that revealed this. Now, the first I saw this was this tweet right here where it says, Drake's UMG...
Before he reads it, let's just pause it for a minute so you guys can take a look at that. And while you're kind of taking a look at that, like, listen to that. You know what I mean? They flagged it, but let's figure out a way for us to make money off of it, which I did find very, very weird. I was out at Fox's Cigar Bar over here in Scottsdale, Arizona, on Friday, having a little meeting with a homie of mine, and we were literally just talking about it. And I said that. I'm like, dude, like, Drake dropped this stuff as a leak. You know what I mean? I did my video to It's Up. You know what I mean? And it got, some decent numbers, but then I'm sitting here like, man, if anybody knows anything, Drake, Drake loves money. I'm like, he's going to figure out some type of way to make some money off of this. But it's crazy because it's not even him that's trying to figure out how to make the money off of it. It's UMG who's telling him, hey, no, you cannot do that. You need to make money off of it. So while you're trying to, give it all away and put yourself back out there, no, the only thing that you're putting out there is anything that's going to help us reaccumulate that $400 million that we gave you in advance. So Drake's UMG agreement likely includes an exclusivity clause, as is the case in nearly all deals, preventing him from releasing music commercially for sale or stream without their involvement. The label is probably already working to monetize the self-leaked hard drive songs. It's crazy.
Agreement likely includes an exclusivity clause, as is the case in nearly all deals, preventing him from releasing music commercially for sale or stream without their involvement. the label is probably already working to monetize the self-leaked hard drive songs. So Drake self-leaked a lot of this content in these songs. And if you don't understand, Drake's deal basically is they own all the rights to Drake. So his music, his voice, any interviews he does, any photos he takes, anything he posts, all of that stuff that revolves around his likeness is owned by Universal Music Group. And he tried to put out some content and some music without their consent. Now, Drake is just, I believe, doing what he felt was best from a marketing perspective or a branding perspective and trying to, get around this Kendrick situation where it's like, man, I've been looked at a certain way because of the Kendrick Lamar battle. I'm trying to put out some content for the fans. And maybe UMG behind the scenes is not feeling like this is a good time for Drake to put anything out. Now, he has a $400 million deal has been reported over there at UMG. And that report was confirmed by the UMG chairman, Lucian Grange. And, this was a big deal for UMG to get with Drake because it made it where they owned everything Drake did. And obviously, Drake is a huge artist. It was even said,
just like real quick, for the artists out there, for anybody out there, if you're in this situation, do you sign your life away for $400 million? Like, knowing the influence that you have. So, knowing how big you are, knowing how big your name is, the following that you're carrying, like being this number one guy all around. Do you sign yourself away for $400 million? Just comment down below. Let me know. Would you do that? And if you would do it, under what conditions?
By Steven Stout, that if Drake went independent instead of signing that UMG deal, the music business would have been over all the way together. And that was said in the article in 2020. Drake's deal.
I'm gonna rewind that.
He was even said made it where this was a big deal for UMG to get with Drake because it made it where they owned everything Drake did. And obviously, Drake is a huge artist. It was even said by Steven Stout that if Drake went independent instead of signing that UMG deal, the music business would have been over all the way together. And that was said in the article in 2020. Drake's deal includes everything related to his likeness. So for him to try to put out content without their consent, it really didn't work out. This is what the article says right here. It says Drake slapped with a copyright strike after dropping unreleased music. UMG wants the new songs taken down. Drake dominated the news cycle when he dropped 100 gigs. And it said the rollout worked as fans sifted through unreleased footage and reacted positively to new collabs with Lotto and 21 Savage. The only problem was Drake's label did not appreciate the drop. UMG issued a copyright strike against the rapper on August 9th. They ensured that the 3 new songs Drake put out were taken down. They're no longer available to stream on the rapper's official website. So Drake tried to pull a move where I'm going to put my songs on my website like Kanye kind of did. And he kind of found out that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen that way. It says the copyright strike was actually confirmed by Drake himself. He took a photo on his Finsta account and shared the notification he received from UMG. The screenshot stated that the access to the content had been restricted due to reports from a third party. The third party being, of course, his label, UMG. It's currently unknown which new song triggered the copyright strike on the part of UMG. The only song that gained traction was It's Up, and has done so on 21 Savage.
It's Up.
Due to 21 Savage's.
You run to Atlanta.
Now, this is the screen. Put it on screen for you guys to see that Drake put up showing that UMG took his music down. I think that it's important to note when we talk about this right here that when you sign a record deal, you are signing away more than you think you are a lot of times. And even somebody as successful as Drake is affected by it, and it's sad to see because he didn't have to sign a new deal technically. He didn't have to go back into business with UMG. He was a free agent at one point where he had the option to go do his own thing or go back into business with UMG. And he decided to go back into business with him. And I think this is what happens when you do business with the labels. No matter how much money you make them, and Drake has made them billions, I'm telling you guys, Drake has made UMG billions, I'm assuming, just from everything that he's done. It doesn't matter. They always want the next thing. It's always about the next thing. What have you done lately? And unfortunately, you got to find out the hard way like this when you want to do something in the space of creativity or you want to have some freedom. You find out that they own you. Chance the Rapper had that famous line once upon a time where he said, I called the label or something like that, and labels told me to my face that they own my friend. It's a sad thing, man. This is what Prince was talking about, ironically, right? This is what Michael Jackson was going through. This is what a lot of the artists in the music business, when they get to a certain level of success, this is what
Facts. I
they
just
go
said
through.
it.
They want to do something creatively,
They want to do their own thing, and you
creatively, excuse
realize
me,
somebody else owns you.
and they don't get the option. They don't get the option because you signed a deal. And it's sad that for Drake's deal, you know, it was reported that his deal includes recordings, publishing, and merchandise. So when we looked into the details of this deal, and I went and found the details of this deal because I wanted to be sure when I came to the platform and talked about it, what exactly his deal was and what that means. Like when you say recordings, publishing, all those different type of things, what does that actually mean? I specified in a previous video that I did exactly what Drake's $400 million UMG deal was. I'll show you guys right here so you get the full scope of what his deal actually entails. But I want to show you guys something that was interesting that Steve Stout said when Drake was going for...
So this is a flashback video of urban legend Will Evans that he did before, where he goes in depth about the $400 million deal that Drake did sign.
Negotiation for his contract in 2020. Steve Stout, who's a music industry executive, he said this about Drake's about Drake's free agency. He said, Drake is about to get the biggest bag in the history of the music business by far. You think that if Drake right now, completely independent, if Drake posts a picture on the gram of his new album with a link in bio, new album out, and he was fully independent, Drake would make $10 million a week for 60 weeks. Steve Stout also said if he goes independent a week for 60 weeks. Steve Stout also said if Drake goes independent, the music business is over. Drake has the bargaining power to negotiate a net profit split with the best deal, blah, 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 blah. Now, that's what was said.
So just right up front, UMG just kind of knew what they were doing, and they plotted it into, they outsmarted him. They knew that, bro, like, who would tell you that? Like, you stay independent on your own. You say 10 million, you want to add more to that. It's going to be more than 10 million a week for 60 weeks. It'll be more than that. That's just the number they throw out there to raise your eyebrows. But you have to be smart, where the same thing is if a label comes to you with a contract saying, hey, let us give you a contract for $1 million advance right now, yada, yada, yada. If you're going to give me $1 million advance right now, then that means you know I'm worth more. If you're saying that I'm going to make $10 million a week for 60 weeks, that means you know that I'm actually going to make more. So instead of making more, their assumption of what you will make is what they paid you out. And you went for that contract, and now you put yourself in a bad situation, in a bad spot.
So that tells you guys how important it was to get a deal done for Universal Music Group with Drake. So they did get a deal done, and we have it right here in front of us. I want to give it to you guys, and I want to break it down. This is what the article says. This is from AOL.com. They reported what Drake's record deal was. It says, after rampant speculation about a bidding war for his services, Drake appears to have finalized a mega deal with Universal Music Group that can net him $400 million when it's all said and done. An official figure has yet to be disclosed. According to industry insiders, the deal will cover Drake's recordings, publishing, merchandise, and visual media projects. I'm going to break all those down in a second. All four of those are different, and I'm going to break them down in a second what that means. It says, in a report by Variety, the news of the agreement was confirmed on Tuesday, May 3rd by UMG, Universal Music Group chairman, Sir Lucian Grange. So Lucian Grange confirmed that this is the record deal that Drake got, $400 million for his recordings, publishing, merchandise, and visual media projects. That's what Drake gave up. They gave him $400 million for that. And this is a similar deal to what The Weeknd got, is what the article says. So let's break this down, bro. What does that mean? If you don't know the music business, you got to understand that this is a 360 deal, essentially. This is essentially, you give up everything that pertaining to your likeness. We want to own it, but we're going to give you $500 million. And that's what Drake did. So let's break it down one by one. Recordings. Drake's recordings, publishing, merchandise, and visual media project. Recordings is anything that he get on a mic and say. If Drake get on the mic and rap, if Drake get on the mic and sing, if Drake get on the mic and poopity scoop, like Kanye West, they own that. All that music, Drake don't own his own music. So when you guys see Kendrick Lamar is able to go.
So how can you make a song where you tell somebody, Top said drop, you better drop and give me 50, give me 50, give me 50, give me 50. It's almost like you're not even giving 50. You're giving it all. How can you talk about somebody else's splits and you in a bad split of your own? You just want to flash the $400 million number out there, but you don't want to talk about the stipulations behind that $400 million. So, right there, we can pull that out too. So push-ups holds no weight now when you talk about the splits, and that's why Kendrick come back and he said, "I'll double down on that. You show me your splits, and I'll come back forward and I'll show you mine." Because then it's not only going to show the $400 million contract and the stipulations of the 360 deal you got, but it's also going to show the payout to how many people that help you write the music that you're putting out.
And say, you know what, all the YouTubers, y'all can make money off my music, bro. I ain't tripping. I'm taking all the copyrights down. Y'all go ahead.
Right, I didn't think about that. That's another shot. I'm going to show you while you're talking about splits. I'm going to show you. I'm going to drop it, and I'm going to do what I want to do with my music, which means allow a lot of other people to benefit off of it, in which you can't do. Because even when you just tried to do it, they flagged it right away. So many people got copyright put on their stuff for using that song. You got access denied to use your own music. So things are starting to get a little interesting now.
And make all that money. That was a big middle finger to the industry, because Kendrick Lamar he has the power, because he owns his music, to be able to say, everybody can make money off my music right now. Drake don't have that power because he don't own his music. So that was when Kendrick did that. That was a big middle finger to the industry to it was a flex. It was a flex on Drake. Like, bro, I don't even got to get paid off of all my music, and I'm still. You feel what I'm saying? I'm for the culture.
For the culture.
So that was the flex that Kendrick Lamar did. So Drake can't do that because they own his recordings, his music recordings, right? Now, publishing. Publishing is the ability to license the music out. What does that mean? When we hear Kendrick Lamar song on TNT during the NBA playoffs, right? That's licensing. UMG owns Kendrick Lamar's publishing, right? And I don't know if they own 100% of it, but I know they have a percentage of Kendrick Lamar's publishing.
Right.
So both Drake and Kendrick have deals with UMG, but Kendrick's deal is a publishing deal, not directly. You know what I mean? They don't own everything Kendrick has. They own everything Drake has. Big difference. So when people say, why would UMG want to get involved, the label making money regardless, because they have a longer term investment in Drake. When all this is said and done, they don't want these allegations to hurt Drake's career. Yeah, they like the battle, they like the streaming money, they like what they're making in the short term, but in the long term, from a business perspective, they don't want Drake's image to be tarnished to the point where they can't make money off him in the future, because we just gave him $400 million in 2022. That was 2 years ago. So we're trying to still recoup our money and make some more. We can't have his image tarnished and the product that we just bought, be worthless, essentially. So they need Drake to kind of win this beef or come out, a little more clean than what he's been coming out lately.
Right.
So that's the reason why. Money regardless? No. So that's the reason why. People like, oh, the label will make money regardless? No. Yes, they will make money in the short term regardless. In the long term, it hurts them very badly if Drake doesn't, if he loses his career behind all these allegations, man. So his publishing, that's licensing the music out. So if you hear a song on a movie, if you hear a song on TV, a commercial, or whoever want to pay to use one of these artists' song on their project or whatever is going on, that's what publishing is. UMG owns that too from Drake. Merchandise. So when y'all see them OVO Jordans, when you see the OVO Nikes, this is why people are saying, or not people, this is why the reports are saying, Drake has a Nike deal. And, when they saying that UMG wants Kendrick Lamar to apologize because Nike is calling and the NFL is calling and all these major corporations are calling, that's why, bro. Because Drake has a merchandise deal with UMG. So they own his merchandise too. So when y'all see the OVO sweaters and the owl, all the, merch and stuff like that, and you see the OVO Jordans, yeah, they own that. UMG owns that. They gave Drake $400 million so they can own that too. So that's a big part of it too, because Nike is gonna call and they have some say so in what's going on between Kendrick and Drake because of that, right? And visual media projects. Visual media projects. So that means music videos, that means interviews. This is why we don't see no whole bunch of interviews from Drake. Interviews, your music videos, if he does a film project, like anything anytime you get on camera and it's not music related, but you just did a visual media project.
Before you
media project, not
take the interview, you run it by us. And before whoever did the interview releases it, they better run it by us so we can make sure that we know everything that was said. Like, yes, his entire everything is owned by UMG for $400 million. That is crazy.
But also it restricts him a lot. And from what I'm hearing, this ain't confirmed, but I've seen reports that Drake is required to put out 2 albums a year People think that Drake drops all the time, and they give Kendrick a lot of backlash. Like, why don't Kendrick drop? Kendrick can drop when he want. You know, he drops once every 3 or 4 or 5 years because he has the freedom to. You know what I mean? Drake don't have that freedom.
He's a
They
puppet.
gave you 400 million. They expecting something from you. So there you guys have it, man. Drake is under ownership of UMG. Everything related to Drake, his artistry, his presentation, anything he puts out, whether it's content, music, interviews, whatever he does, UMG has to approve it, clear it, and profit off of it before they allow him to do it.
That's crazy.
So that's the sad situation that Drake is under. And obviously, you know, he probably wants to do a lot of different things creatively, but he can't until he gets that permission from his bosses. That's what it is, man. That's why I thought when he was saying those Kendrick Lamar lines on the Drop and Give Me 50, the push-up song, I was like, the way you doing Split Your Pants Might Rip, bro, you can't say those lines when UMG has this much of a hand in your pocket.
I was just saying that.
And we know that you have, you know, other people that you have to pay as well, whether it's, you know, different things in the past from Cash Money deals and Jay Prince deal and things like that. I thought it wasn't a good line or a good path to go down in that battle because he can't play that game. You know what I mean?
Right.
He has a lot of handlers. So that's what it is, man. I don't have much more on this topic. You guys do the research for yourself.
Listen, man. First of all, once again, huge shout out to Urban Legend Will Evans. I just really, really want to give like the kudos to the research that he does, the articles he looks into, just to bring like actual facts to people like me that are interested in this kind of stuff. And I just want to kind of give my take and my opinion on it. And it's pretty much the same thing that he said. It's crazy. Like, how can you come up with these lines and these bars trying to come at somebody else talking about something when you are in this kind of deal? Like, you've literally signed your life away. You know what I mean? For $500 million. Like, he's the world's biggest industry plant. You know what I mean? To where if UMG is pretty much in control of so much of, you know what I mean, the entertainment, the music that we get, like, yeah, they're taking other artists' music and letting Drake take that music and put it out because you're the golden boy, you're the poster child, you're the mock, you're what's being put out in front of people, you're the prototype. So we need everything to come through you in order for it to open doors for other people. That's the same thing I said when I heard that Four Bats song with Drake, and I'm like, wait a minute, that literally sounds like a Brent Faiyaz song, which Brent Faiyaz just seem to kind of like diminish after he did like bigger than life or bigger than the world, that last album he did. So I don't know, it's interesting, man. Comment down below and let me know what you think, man, about all of this. Is it like over for Drake? Are we really watching the fall of Drake? Do we feel like Drake will bounce back from this? I don't know, man. Comment down below and let me know. It's Tea Time TV. I don't really have too much more to say, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you slap that like button. Make sure you slap that subscribe button and tune in for the next video.
It's time for tea time.